As the internal crackdowns expand and intensify, the religious minorities tend to be on the front lines of this repression apparatus.
Just last month, 21 Iranian Christians were arrested in these 6 cities. Officials accused them of spreading Zionist Christianity and, quote, acting against national security.
There is a massacre occurring right now as I'm making this video in Iran by the hundreds, in plain sight, in Iran. We spend a lot of time on this channel talking about Israel, Palestine, the region, and of course we talk about some of the other atrocities that are happening in other countries, such as Yemen, such as Lebanon, such as Syria, such as Egypt, whatever it is. We cannot neglect what is happening to the people of Iran, the Iranian people who are incredible allies to Israel. I repeat, the Iranian people, not those inside of the regime. Let's take an opportunity to see a little bit under the hood what's going on. And talk about it after, because it absolutely does have a direct correlation to what is happening here in the Holy Land in Israel.
A brutal crackdown is taking place inside Iran, including mass executions and political arrests. This time, it's not hidden. A former war crimes prosecutor is sounding the alarm to warn the world of an unfolding massacre happening in plain sight. CBN's George Thomas has the details.
Stephen Rapp, former U.S. ambassador at large in the Office of Global Criminal Justice, tells CBN News the Iranian regime isn't just cracking down with arrests or beatings, it's using executions to silence dissent, with the numbers rising fast after the recent war with Israel.
There are thousands of political prisoners, and they could charge them with these phony charges and begin mass executions, really judicial murders of peaceful opponents.
In 2023, Iran executed more than 850 people. A year later, that number jumped to 975. And now, just 8 months into 2025, over 700 executions have already been recorded.
The Islamic Republic continues to be the leading state sponsor of executions, second to the Chinese Communist Party.
Among those put to death, 3 Kurdish men and a top nuclear scientist accused of collaborating with Israel.
The regime fears its people more than a potential external attack because ultimately, in their perspective, they can absorb any attack on their military installations. However, if the discontent internally will to expand and lead to nationwide unrest as it has in the past, it would really be the key catalyst for regime collapse.
Others sentenced to death are charged with vague offenses like, quote, enmity against God.
What I fear is instead of 1,000 a year, we could end up with literally tens of thousands being executed.
People are being rounded up all over the place. People are being stopped in the streets and told to hand over their cell phones while they check messaging history, photos taken, phone calls made, websites visited. I mean, it's just blanket across the board. Cars are being stopped and checked. Homes are being raided. No one is safe.
And
well, this sounds like a really great place to be in the Middle East. Apparently, Israel is the most dangerous place for everyone in the Middle East, especially women, where you look here that people have to wrap their heads because that is the law. And if you don't abide by the law, there will be people who take care of business. That's the reality.
It's not only political activists being targeted.
As the internal crackdowns expand and intensify, the religious minorities tend to be on the front lines of this repression apparatus.
Just last month, 21 Iranian Christians were arrested in these 6 cities. Officials accused them of spreading Zionist Christianity and, quote, acting against national security.
Those two things are the classic accusations for Christians when they get arrested and charged with something. Of course, the government just wants to stop the spread of Christianity in Iran, but this is amplified now because they are paranoid.
Days after the Israel-Iran ceasefire, the regime's state-run Fars news agency, which is tied to the Revolutionary Guard, openly called for a repeat of the 1988 massacre, when 30,000 political prisoners were secretly executed.
They got away with murder, mass murder in 1988. They think they can get away with it again.
As executions mount and repression deepens, human rights advocates warn the almost worldwide silence only enables the regime's growing brutality.
Sorry to cut that off real quick. I just want to show all of you what the 1988 Iran massacre looked like. which, by the way, was ordered by Iran's then supreme leader and Iran's today's supreme leader, the Ayatollah. The massacre followed the Iran-Iraq war, which had just ended a UN-brokered ceasefire. At the time, many political prisoners, most of them members or supporters of opposition groups like the PMOI, the MEK, as well as leftist groups, communists, and other dissidents were in jail. Khomeini used a secret fatwa declaring that all prisoners who remained loyal to opposition groups should be executed. Let's just take a look here real quick. We'll go back to the video. The massacre was largely covered up inside Iran. Families were not told who their loved ones were, where their loved ones were buried, and many were interred in secret mass graves, such as Kavaran Cemetery in Tehran. The Iranian government has never officially acknowledged the massacre, yet what a surprise. Some of those involved in the, quote, death commissions, like Ibrahim Raisi, later Iran's president until his death in 2024, continued to rise in political power. This is what he was referring to. Let me get back to the video.
International community, the United States and Europe particularly, do not speak up against these heinous crimes. The regime therefore doesn't feel any obligation to scale back its internal repression.
George Thomas, CBN News.
And CBN News will not be silent and continue to cover this. Gordon?
We will let our voices be heard on behalf of the Christians in Iran and again, on behalf of those who protest this horrible government. Just imagine a government saying, we're going to repeat a massacre where 30,000 political opponents were executed, that they're proud of that, that they want to use that. The regime itself is a weapon of mass destruction. We talk a lot about their acquisition of a nuclear weapon and what would happen to Tel Aviv if they ever got one. But the regime itself, this ideology of hatred, that there are little Satans and great Satans, and we're here on behalf of the cause of Islam, and we want to stand against the infidels and all of that. It's all hate speech, and I don't understand our own politics on this. You know, why progressives, so-called progressives, would want to support this. Can you imagine being a woman in Iran and you're subject to being beaten by the religious police because your scarf isn't tied right? It's absolutely unimaginable. This is horrific. I wish we had taken out that government. I know that's really hard to say, and I'll probably be criticized for it, but they are absolute evil. And they've been evil against their own citizens for decades, and they've exported that evil to Iraq and to Lebanon. They've tried to take out Israel several times. They launch missiles. They've had these ballistic missiles. They're supplying Russia with drones. All of these horrible things are going on, all because of an ideology at the top. That ideology has to change for there ever to be peace in the Middle East.
I want to take you back to ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT, by the way, just so you can see, please show me a chart about the top 10 countries in the world with the leading amount of deaths as a result of the death penalty. And here you have, this is by the way, Amnesty International, which the pro-Palestinian movement loves to quote. So the top 10 countries by known executions as of 2024, Iran, 972. Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Yemen, Somalia, the US, Egypt, Singapore, Kuwait, Oman. How many Muslim countries are on this list? How many Jewish countries, how many Jewish nations, how many Jewish states are on this list? It's literally right here for you. And if you want to know more about what it would be like living as a woman in Iran, you could just go on to the internet. Ask ChatGPT, say, tell me about what a day in a life would be like as a woman in Iran who does not respect the regime. And then go into ChatGPT and say, tell me what life would be like as a woman in Israel who doesn't respect the government. Show me a side-by-side video. Maybe that should be a video. Maybe that should be a video. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe next time. Links in the description to help this channel grow. I love all of you. I love all of you all the way from the whole land. And here's one last message for you. Here are 4 ways you can help us grow if you believe in our mission. On Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal, you can directly contribute to helping this message grow and reach more people across the world. If you want to join the inner circle, join our Patreon with different tiers, and of course, our Discord community, which is free with people from all across the world. The links to every single one are in the description. And last but not least, to the other Barak community, I love you. Ani ohev otchem. I'll see you guys next time.